Agotivach, this is Gemara Sanhedrin Daf Yomi Clear, and the learning for this month. The month of Teves has been generously sponsored by a close friend of the Daf, lezchut, to be able to learn together, Baruch Hashem. For lezchut Aliyas Neshama, for his father, Rabbi Aryeh ben Rabbi Ya'akov, v'siyata d'shmaya. The Koyach HaTorah should continue elevating the Neshama of Rabbi Aryeh ben Rabbi Ya'akov to higher and higher place in Gan Eden Shel Ma'ila, as well as learning Shabiyas Chosar Fuah Shlema for Tinoik ben Miriam Ahuva. We are holding on Yud Chesed Beis, the bottom. We are 3 lines from the bottom, in which we quote the Mishnah, continuing discussing the halachas of a Kohen Gadol. Particularly, says the Mishnah, quoting the Gemara, Chayleitz v'choltzin. A Kohen Gadol could perform chalitza, and the chalitza could be performed. However, there's no yibum for a Kohen Gadol. Says the Gemara, Kabasik Vitani, the Mishnah is paskening for us. There's no yibum leishna min eris and leishna min anisuim, irregardless whether the brother, I should say, died after erisin, was nifter after nisuin. The brother, the Kohen Gadol, does not perform yibum. Says the Gemara, let's understand this. I understand why the Kohen Gadol doesn't perform yibum. Why? We have an asay versus a lois asay. What is that? Look at Rashi in the last line. Rashi says, "Ikasay v'lois asay b'isura b'sula yikach v'loy ba'ula." Dahinu asay almana layikach harilav. A Kohen Gadol is not allowed to be with a woman that prior had relations that is no longer a besula. Number 1. A Kohen Gadol is not allowed to be with an almana. Number 2. But both of those, of course, are only after nisuin. After nisuin, there's relations. She's no longer a besula. After nisuin, she has the status of an almana. So says the Gemara, once there was nisuin, I understand the din of the Mishnah that the Kohen Gadol is not going to perform yibum. And the Gemara now spells out what we just said. That ve'ina asay in the top of Yitezam and Aleph deichalois asay v'asay. And the asay, as the top Rashi spells out, Yivama yavayala. The asay, the positive commandment of performing yibum, will not be daicha such a lois asay and asay. But ask the Gemara, element iris in the second line of Yitezam and Aleph. Amai, what is the reason in Kohen Gadol does not perform yibum if his brother only did erisin? Yavayaseh, let the asay of yibum v'yircha lois asay, and push away the lois asay. Answers the Gemara, the lois asay, you're not allowed to marry an almana. Answers the Gemara, Yizera bia rishayna atu bia shniya. Says the Gemara, it's a din derabanan that the mitzvah of yibum is what? The first time this Kohen Gadol is going to be together with this woman. So the first time, you're right, there's a mitzvah saseh. But says the Gemara, if when they stay married, there's no longer such a mitzvah saseh. And the problem is, the second time, what is it? He's being together with an almana. Again, this woman is an almana. There's a lois asay for the Kohen Gadol to marry her. However, he has an asay. So we could say that an asay overwhelms the lois asay. But explains the Gemara that's only the first time the Kohen Gadol is with this woman. Then there's the asay of yibum that's coming to knock out the lois asay of being with an almana. But what about the bia shniya, the second time this couple is together? At that juncture, there's no longer the asay of yibum, and therefore it'll be categorically us. The Chazal were nervous. If we allow them to perform the mitzvah of yibum, they might stay married, and therefore we don't even allow them to perform the mitzvah of yibum. Tanan Amiyachi explains the Gemara, the 4th line, Im kadmu ba'alu bia rishayna kanu lemaisa. This is a beautiful raya. If the Kohen Gadol goes and is together with this woman, his brother's wife, after his brother did erisin and then died, there's a kinyan. But he's not allowed to be Makayim, he's not allowed to stay married with her for a second act of Bia. Continues the Gemara, Beis lo meis. If the Kohen Gadol's one of his relative was nifter, Rameir said he follows the the funeral from a distance, Rav Yehuda said he doesn't even leave the Beis Hamikdash. Tana Rabbanan min Hamikdash lo yetze. He explains the Gemara lo yetze imayim. The Kohen Gadol does not go with them. Aval however yetzu acharei, and he goes after them. Kitzad. And that explains the shita of Rav Meir that he's able to stay at a distance, like he explained in the Mishnah. V'yotze ada Pesach, and continue the Mishnah. Rav Meir said he goes to the entrance. Rav Yehuda said no. Says the Gemara, Shabbir Kam Rav Yehuda. I understand Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda has a clear pasuk that what? You don't leave the Beis Hamikdash. So how does Rav Meir contend with Rav Yehuda's pasuk? Amar lecha Rav Meir. Rav Meir responds, if it's true, if we understand the pasuk literally, like you, Rav Yehuda said, lebeisai nami loi, as I'm sure many were wondering, what? The Kohen Gadol is never allowed to leave the Beis Hamikdash. If you're right that there's this positive commandment of Mikdash lo yetze, so he can't even go home at night. Elohachi kamar. So what are you going to tell me? No. Min Hamikdash lo yetze. You know what that means? Doesn't mean the physical Beis Hamikdash. Mekdusha soy lo yetze. It means that what? From his kedusha, from his sanctity, he has to be careful not to ever come in contact with a dead body. And that's where Rav Yehuda learns, don't leave by the funeral. Why? Because maybe you're going to come close to the mace. But even this, but since there is a Akira, Rav Meir responds, what's the Akira? That he's staying at a distance, he's not coming close, therefore we're not worried. But Rav Yehuda says, no, even that's also. Why? He's bitter. He's upset. A relative died. We have to be worried that he might come to touch the mita and become tummy, and therefore, Rav Yehuda says, don't even allow him to leave the confines of the Beis Hamikdash. And we continue quoting the Beis Hamikdash when the Kohen Gadol performs Nicham Avelim, he passes in front of them with the Skan Kohen Gadol. Says the Gemara Tanur Havan, when the Kohen Gadol passes the Shura, the line, Lenachem is Achirim, Skan Umashuach Sha'avar Biyaminoi. The Skan, the Sissy Kohen Gadol, Mashuach, the Kohen Gadol that goes to battle, Sha'avar Biyaminoi, Mashuach is the Kohen Gadol after he's no longer in service. Art is right. When he, the Kohen Gadol, is accepting the condolences, then the Mashuach that passes, he's no longer in office. Because in such a scenario, when the Kohen Gadol is the one sitting Shiva, we have to be more careful due to the Chol Shadaitai. Kohen Gadol might be distressed. If the Mashuach passes by, Savar Chadi Bey, he might think he's rejoicing, he's happy that either Kohen Gadol, because he wants to come in office, and therefore we don't allow the Mashuach Sha'avar to be involved at all. Continues the Gemara, Amar Rab Papa. Shema Mina Ma'amas Nita Talas. Let's learn from this brisa 3 points. Shema Minam, Hainu Skan, Hainu Memuna. This is really going to define a little bit deeper. Whom are these people? The Skan, the Mashuach Sha'avar, who are they? Says Rababa, I bring you a right. Number 1, the Skan is the Memoina, is the appointed assistant Kohen Gadol. Shema Mina number 2, Avilim Oimdi V'cholam Oivri. Shema number 3, Avilim the small, Amenachamim Hein, Amenachamim Hein Oimdim, the mourners to the left of those who are comforting them. Continues the Gemara, Tanur Rabban, Avishanei Avilim Oimdi V'cholam Oivrim. The Avilim would stand and everyone would walk by. Vayabeis Mishvachas B'Yushalayim. 2 families, Mitzkaros Abbas, who would fight with each other. Zoisai Meres, and Yaveres Techila. Zoisai Meres, and Yaveres Techila. Each one would push, they want to come first. And due to the fighting, the quarreling, we don't want the families to fight. Therefore, we said, you know what? Stand still. And let the Avelim, which of course is what we do, let the Avelim walk by. And we have a simon over here Again, bringing to mind that simanim are not einu hayazach. We encourage everyone, let's jump on the Zichru bandwagon. Siyata Deshmaya, we've seen incredible success. Amar Rami Barabba Hichsir Rav Yosi. As Adavrli Yashri Bayri, Rav Yosi went back the original way that they did it in Sibayri. Sheyavilim Aimdim Cholam Ivrid. Not like we just said, but rather Avilim stood still. And he continues with the other practices of Rav Yosi that one woman should not walk in the shuk with the child afterwards. Why? Because of a story that happened. We look up at Rashi. Rashi, about halfway down the Amid, first one on the line of Rashi Lefanea explains, they kidnapped the child, and when she turns around and she sees, where's my kid? It's Chilot Sayakes Ubaycha. She starts screaming, come, I'll show you where your child is. And he had his way with her, and therefore, in order to prevent such a terrible matziv, we want the children not to walk behind. Another takana, 3 lines to the medium-sized line. The woman should talk to each other in the outhouses because we're worried about yichud. We don't want another man to come in. Says Rav Yeshaya, I asked Rav Yeshaya, Rabba bebeis almin dehutzal. Beis Yeshaya Rabba, bebeis almin dehutzal, in the cemetery of Hutzal. V'amar li, and he said to me, Ein shura pechusa me'asar b'nei adam. Shura needs 10 people. Ve'ina ve'elim min aminyin. Bein shavelim aimdim cholam ha'ivrim, bein shavelim ha'ivrim cholam ha'imdim. Either way, you need to have a full 10 for the shura. And we continue. Says the Gemara, Kshumanat misnachem. When the Kohen Gadol receives the comfort, we're on the 3rd medium-sized line. The people say to the Kohen Gadol, we are your tshuva. Says the Gemara, Ibailu asked the Gemara, Ki menachem hu achrine. When the Kohen Gadol comforts others, Hechi amar lahu, what does he say to them? Tashema v'oimer tisnachamu. The Kohen Gadol says, may you be comforted. Hechi dami lemeki. If you say the Bryce talking about a case where others are comforting the Kohen Gadol, amar lahu, ihu tisnachamu. Would he respond, you should be comforted? Nachsha karamilu, what's going on? He's giving them an ayin hara. Why is he pointing and insinuating that they have a reason to need comfort? Ella, rather, ki menacham la'achrini, he's comforting others. Amru tisnachamanu. He says that may you be comforted. Shema mina. This is what we see how the Kohen Gadol responds to others when they are in this matziv of avelus. The Mishnah then continues, segueing from the halachas of the Kohen Gadol into the halachas of a melech. Said the Mishnah, Melech Laidan Veidan Naisai Amar Rav Yosef, explains Rav Yosef Laishanu Ala Malchei Yisrael. Avo Malchei Beis David Dan Veidan Naisai. Says Rav Yosef, this is only Malchus Yisrael, but Malchus Beis David, does not. Now, the chilik between Malchus Beis David and Malchi Yisrael, no, it's not Rashi over here that explains, but the Pashim Shad over here is, this is going back to this man Shlomo HaMelech, that the split between Yehuda Binyamin on the south versus the north, which was what they called Malchi Yisrael, who were not descendants of David. So those who came from David, yes, Dan Vidan Naisai, those who did not, were not. Techsev quotes the Gemara, Pasek, Beis David Koyim Hashem, Dine Lavaker, Mishpat, Labaiker, Mishpat, execute judgment in the mornings. What do we see? We see that those in the Malchus Beis David are judged. V'loi danina lei inhu hechidaine. And if they themselves weren't judged, how do they judge others? Why? V'aksev is kaishu v'kaishu. Says the Pasek, search within yourself and then search others. And on that, V'amarei Shlakish, first, correct yourself and then correct others. Only someone who is able to be judged is he able to judge others. Ella Malchi Yisrael, my time aloi. So says the Gemara, okay, but based upon this, then why are Malchi Bis Yisrael? The din in the Mishnah, Leidanim ain't done nice. He explains the Gemara, Misa Maisa Shaya, Ta'avde Diane Malka Kotel Nav Shah. Maisa that Shaya, that what? A slave, Ta'avde Yane, the slave of Yane Malka, King Yane Kotel Nav Shah, killed a person. Amrlu Shimon ben Shatach Chachamim Tinui Nechem Bai. Shimon ben Shatach said, Chazal, place your eyes above you to Danu, and we should judge him. Shalchulei Avcha Kotel Navsha. So they sent to Yanei HaMelech that what? Avcha Kotel Navsha, your slave killed. Shajilahu. Yanei responds, Shalchulei Ta'ant Nami Lacham. Excuse me. Shadri Lahu, so Yanei sends the Eved to the Chachamim. Chachamim respond, Shadri Shalchulei Ta'ant Nami Lacha. You come here also. But who had bebaila? We can't try your Eved without you, King Yanei. Amra Taira. And we darshan from this pasuk, Yavai Balashar V'Yamid Al Shairai. So he comes, King Yanei V'Yahiv, and sits, Amra Lahu, Shemin ben Shatach Yanei HaMelech Amoid. Al Raglecha, stand up, Yidabecha. Yanai, get up and Yidabecha, and then we'll testify. And you're not standing in front of us, mere judges of the Misha Aimer V'Haya'ilam. We, the Dayanim, representative, of course, of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's who the trial really is being conducted in front of. Shenemar, as the pasuk says in the last line, Amrulai. So it says, says Yanai to him and Shadach. It's not like you are saying, Ella, but do like your Chaverim say, Naftali Minai. So Shimon ben Shatach turns to his right as we turn over to Yitasim base. Kavshu b'neim b'karka. And the other Dayanim who are there put their face in the ground. The top Rashi over here spells out Nafnu Shimon Yaminai. Shimon turns to his right. Why is Shimon turning to his right? Leida, to know him Yamru Kamaisai. Shimon ben Shatach is telling Yanei to do such. Yanei is saying, I'll do like the other day on him. So explains the Gemara that Shimon ben Shatach turned to try to figure out what's going on over here. Nifdal Yaminoi. Kavshu b'neim b'karka, the other day on him, quickly look down. Nafdalis Mainai. So Shimon ben Shatach turns his love. Kavshu b'neim b'karka. Amar lehen. Shimon ben Shatach says to them, Bailei machshavos atem. You're men of thoughts. Yavai Baal Machshavos Yivremichem. Let the Baal Machshavos, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, come and punish you. Miyad Ba Gabriel. Malach Gabriel comes, Chovton Bekarka, and the Malach hits them, knocks the Chacham to the ground, Umeisu, and they died. Be'oise Shah Amru. Melech Leidam Leidan Naisai Leimeid. Due to this story, they decided a king cannot be judged. We saw what happened over here when King Yanai was put up on judgment. Therefore, they said, we don't judge anyone. Aside for, of course, Malchus, Beis, David. Says the Gemara, fascinating story. We continue with the din of Chalitza for Melech. Asks the Gemara, Eini, is this true? V'amar Ravashi afilu man damar nasi she'amachal al kvaydai. Kvaydai machal b'melech she'malchal al kvaydai ein kvaydai machal. A king cannot be machal, cannot give away his honor. Shenemar. So he does it malecha melech. Shetei emasoy alecha. The Me'ima should be upon you, and therefore ask the Gemara, Rav Yehuda argued, and Rav Yehuda said, Amelech, can yes perform Yibam? Amelech, can yes perform Chalitza? Ask the Gemara, how is that? Shayach says the Gemara, no, because mitzvah shiny, it is a mitzvah, and that's the reason why Rav Yehuda allows it. He continues the Gemara, Ve'ein naisin. The Melech, one is allowed to marry a naisin, the Aman of a Melech, Tanya, Amr le Rav Yehuda. They said to Rav Yehuda, women from the household of the king who are suitable for him, Mirav Umichal, These are Merav and Michal, the daughters of Shaul. Of course, this is David HaMelech, who's marrying the kings of Melech Shaul, as the Gemara is explaining who they were. Continues the Gemara, Shalu Talmidav Es Rav Yosi. They asked, Hey, Nasa David Shteach Chayos Bechayim, how did David HaMelech marry these two women, Michal and Merav? They were sisters. Amrlan Michal Achar Misas Merav Nasa. No, he only married Michal after Merav was Niftaris. Reshubin Karcham, a second Taris Kedusha Tayus Hayolai B'Merav. He was never merely married to Merav. It was a Kedushin, that was a mistake. Shenamar. Tanas Ishti as Michal Asher Rasti Li B'Mea Arlois Plishtim. My Talmud Amar Ababa Michal Ishti V'Loi Merav Ishti. So we learned from over here that he was really only married to Michal, not Michal Ishti V'Loi Merav Ishti. So says the Gemara, so why Lamaisa my Kedusha Taz? So we see in the pasuk that Lamaisi wasn't married to Merav. But why? Techsev on the third medium says, the king will make the one rich who kills Goliath. Azal David HaMelech famously goes, Kalei and kills Goliath. Amrlai. Shaul says to David, Milva Islach Agabai. You have debt to collect. That what Shaul says, you're going to get wealth. V'mekadish v'milva einai miku dashes. If you're going to marry with a milva, you're not married. So Shaul argued that David was never married to Merav, and as much as he's going to get the wealth, but he doesn't have it right now. Azal Yaval Adriel. Shaul went and gave Merav to someone else as a wife of Adriel. Merav Ashal David v'gomer. Amar lei boys. Amar lei. So Shaul says to David, boys, that in Lach Michal, you want me to give you Michal? Bring me 100 arlois of the Plishtim, if the bris milah, the arla of the Plishtim. Azal Aisile, Amrle, Malva, Pruta, Islach Gabai. Shaul says, you give me a loan. What was loan? The loan was, again, that David killed Goliath. So Shaul is supposed to be giving David a lot of wealth. So David HaMelech wanted to be Mekadesh with that wealth, saying, you owe it to me. Don't give it to me, I'll be Mekadesh. That's Mekadesh b'milveh. That's number one. Number two is a Pruta. That the fact that Shaul says now, you give me these 100 arlois. Shaul Sava the Milva Pruta Daita Milva, the Das on the Milva, and therefore there's no Kedushin. But David Sava, no, and David held 8 lines down into medium-sized lines, but David is the first word. Milva Pruta Daita Pruta, therefore the marriage works. By same the Kuliam Milva Pruta Daita Pruta Shaul Sava Lechazi, V'Laimidi, V'David Sava Chazi, Lekalbi, V'Shunri. And Machlekes was, were these 100 arlois have any value? David said, yes, you could give it to cats and dogs, therefore they are worth a pruta, and that is the reason why David felt his marriage to Michal was indeed a correct one. Rav Yosi continues the Gemara. Rav Yosi's tarot was he married Michal after Merav died. Rav Yosi, Aitana Ishtivas Michal, my Darish Bay. Rav Yosi, Tamed, and Rav Yosi, Darish Bay, Krayus, May Orvin. Rav Yosi with Darshan, interchangeable psukim. They'll save the Basil Vikacham Elach, Shnei Bnei Ritz, Babasai, Asher Yodel Shaul. As that money, that's maybe by Shavas Chamesh Bnei Michal, Asher Yodel Adriel, Michal, see, Chilajal Nasna, Falapati and Lash Nasna. So what's going on over here? They'll save Shal Nasna and as Michal Bita, Isha, Tavalapati and Laish. The boss says clearly, gave Michal to Balti and Laish. Ella, Makich Kedusha Mir of Adriel. So says Rav Yosi, that the same type of marriage that he had to Michal was Merav was to Adriel. Kedusha Michal Abalti Ma Kedusha Michal Abalti Ba'Avera. Kedusha Merav Adriel was Avera. That's Rav Yosi start. Shubin Karcha Nami Yoksivas Chavish Bnei Michal Bashal Amel Yeshua. So what does Rav Yeshua do? So explains the Gemara. Why? Because Yeshua said the marriage to Merav was nothing. Michal Yalda v'la Merav Yalda. Merav Yalda Michal. Meir of Yalda, Michal Gidla, and Michal raised them. The Fichal Nikra Shmat, so they call him on the name of Michal Lamezcha. Shekol Amegadol Yasam Tachbeisai Malav Akasav Kilu Yalda, famous Meimer Chazal. If you raise the Yasam, you get credit as if you gave birth to such Yasam, and that's the reason why it was called after him. Continue with another Simin, Chananya Kra, etc. Rav Chanina Amar Me'acha says, Rav Chanina, another Mekar for The aforementioned Maimer Chazal of your Megadol Yasam B'Techbesos, if you give birth to them, says Rav Chanina, V'Tikren Eloi, Hashcheinais, Shem Lemar Yulad Ben Lenami. The neighborhoods gave him a name, saying, "A son is born to Nami, V'Chinami Yalda, V'Loi Rus Yalda." Elaros Yalda V'Nami Gilda, Lefika Nikra Al Shabbat, V'Yichlan Amar Me'achas, third of Makar, V'Ishta Yehudis, says the Pasik, Yehudia, excuse me, call his wife Yehudia Yalda Asira Avigdar V'Gaimer. Elu B'nei Basia Paspara Shalakach Meirad, Meirad Zekelev, Lamnik Shal Meirad, Shamara Basas Meraglim. Chibasi Yalda, what do you mean? Val Yochavid Yalda, of course. Yochavid Yalda Basla Gilov, Fiknikra Al Shema. Rav Lazar Memehacha, another source for this Mekar, that those who raise the Yasam, it's as if we view it as gave birth to him. It says the pasuk in the first line. Ga'alta b'Izrael Hamecha b'nei Yaakov Yosef Sela. Powerful army redeemed their people. Yosef Yalad, says the Gemara, V'lo Yaakov Yalad. Yaakov Yalad Yosef killed, grazed. Lefichel Nikra Al Shemayim. Rav Shimon Achmeni Rav Yonasan. Kol HaMelamed ben Chaveiroi Torah. A similar vein. We just said if you raise a person as if you give birth to them. Continues the Gemara. If you teach your friend Torah, Ma'alo Love HaKos of Gilu Yalda. Shenem Rav Alil tells Aaron and Moshe. Ksev Yelish Maz b'nei Aaron. Laim Lacha Aaron Yalda Yalad and Moshe Limi Lefichel Nikra Al Shemai. It's considered that Moshe Rabbeinu gave birth to them. We'll stop over here. I'll pick it up from here. B'siyata Dishmaya.